That it's a real issue. I wish I did a real thing, proper. I regret not doing it. I should have done it so that I deal with real stuff. Me, I'm not scared. Good. Uniform or no uniform, Afrikaner or no Afrikaner, white or pink, I deal with you decisively. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. In the circumstances, the following order is made. 1. The complaint that the first impugned song, open quote, kiss the Boer or kill the Boer or kiss the farmer, close quote, constitute hate speech and unfair discrimination is dismissed. The complainant is to pay the cost of the suit. I hand the judgment. That's the end of the hearing. The court shall adjourn.
Kiss the Boer, the farmer, kiss the Boer, the farmer, kiss the Boer, the farmer, kiss the Boer, the farmer.
Today, the National Party is not only a party who finds its support amongst the Afrikaners, but for more than 20 and 25% it finds its support amongst English speakers in South Africa. And more we as Afrikaners and you as English speakers realize that we must stand together. Not as some people want to say because outside circumstances are forcing us to stand together, but for the simple reason that we want to stand together to serve our common fatherland, South Africa.
We see Afriforum is at the borders with their programs. Black people are scared to say well done because they're Africans. Ooh, they'll call us sellouts. Hey, those people are South African at borders, meaning the borders. Well done, Afriforum. And if we must help Afriforum, that's exactly what's going to happen. If we become a political party, then all we are doing is we are becoming the people that we don't like so much. Why must I become those nonsense people who just run around and batla di paseka hired crowds ba wa fe di keeper tse ready a fetse ba re ba change a country? Why must I be that person? Nna ke tlatsa paseka nkgono sena le tricky ke tlatsa paseka ngwana o leng o repilwe ke teacher khosa se founile a ke rente crowd ba gazata ba ka for di pase a ke etse billboard in nonshebe ya ka number calculation tsa my matter iris parapara e kene every household a ke etse mehlolo di PR because our issues are genuine issues of the people.
I'm going to Senegal to defend a building with my body. I've never told you of AK-47. I've never told you
but
of
you are also saying
you are talking war.
But you are saying
when I defend myself against white racists and terrorists, if you are scared of them, it's none of my business, Chief.
But you are saying
alone.
But
if
you are
that's
saying
of being scared of white people, I'm standing up to them.
Yeah.
I'm standing up to whiteness. I'm standing to white arrogance. I will never allow it to play itself out in South Africa when I'm a leader of a third political party. The EFF's presence in this democracy is to put racists at their own place. And we are going to do that knowing very well that we are going to be called names because of racist apologists, apartheid apologists, and beneficiaries of racism. So we are not part of that nonsense.
You know, Chief, let me tell you that our people died. Maybe your grandfather and your great-grandfather and your father didn't tell you what they did to our fathers and our grandfathers and our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers. That is why you come here with that tendency of even undermining us, telling us that we are delinquent, we are mad. That is why you come here with your whiteness and undermine that your grandfathers took our land and they murdered our people. That is why you come here and not acknowledge that the country is where it is because of your parents. That is why you are laughing, because you are not where we are today. Let me tell you, my brother, you are not my brother anyway.
No, he is.
No, he's not. He's not.
No, that's just a joke.
The fact of the matter, Chief, is that the land, chunk of the land is in your hand as white. Secondly, the reason why we go to towns is because that's how your spatial development made us to be. It doesn't mean that the land that you are occupying, as blacks, we can't work it. The manner in which you introduced your neoliberal and your apartheid system to us, make us to move to towns because we feel that where the towns are, that's where life is. Because you have taken everything that belongs to us, including the arable land that we used, our fathers used.
So if the white farmers leave, we'll be fine in SA.
If the white farmers leave, then we are going to enter civil war. Because people are going to come into your house to get food. The hungry will eat the rich.
So I'm going to eat soul.
If you're hungry, you will eat soul. It looks
Finish
yummy.
me, dog. You know where to start, boy. You'll finish me, man.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's the quickest way you can, and there's nothing else that can make this country like it's hurting people here. But the quickest we can get to a very abnormal situation is for people not to have food. Okay, this is why our government is making efforts to have these 350 grants, and we don't like them as taxpayers. But let the people go hungry, then you will see. And we are very close, very close, very close. The poverty in this country is real, and people don't have the skill to grow their own food.
People who are white are foreigners or South Africans. None of you can make that determination. But I can tell you, you can tell that through smell, through a sight, through touch. You tell us that this one is not South African. Whereas you have Xhosas in Zimbabwe, you have Xhosas in South Africa, you have Ndebeles in Zimbabwe, you have Zulus in Zimbabwe. And this 1884 Berlin Conference still has an effect even today. That is the impact of Verwoerd. And we're not acknowledging and undoing it. We have to undo everything that Verwoerd has done, including education. We need to educate our people. If we're going to truly liberate our people, everything that the apartheid government did, we must undo. Meaning education, special development, all of that must be undone by a government that cares for our people. And that government is only EFF. So that's where we are.
I never brought your name. I never brought your name. I've never brought your name. I've never brought Oppenheimer's name. I don't even know his name. I don't know. I've never, my Lord, called him by name. I've always referred to him as you, and I clarified it that I'm referring to a client. When I say your name, I mean them as white people. Your parents have left you a bad name. So that is the context I'm using it. So please, if you are going to be a legal representative, you are going to have to reduce yourself from this case as an individual. Remove your emotions and deal with me as a professional. Because if you are going to come to me as a personal person, individually, I will no longer look at you as a professional. I will decisively deal with you as an individual. I'm going to be president of this country, whether you like it or not. And I will preside over the affairs of this country, including presiding over you. I think you must start adjusting to that reality. The sooner you do that, the less chest pains you'll have when that reality comes.
What chest pains would
you versus us?
But can't you understand that we have our own history, our own culture, our own language, our own religion?
From your perspective, Mr. Fissachi.
No.
And it's a very narrow perspective. That's the most unfortunate part of this.
It's not a perspective, it's a real fact.
Do you care about the starving millions of African people in this country?
I care more.
Do you care about the farm workers who are being oppressed in this country? Do you care about the fact...
Don't interrupt me. I'm finished. Thank you. Bye. Take where to sit. Bye.
Okay.
And you won't dare,
Mr. Fissachi,
you won't dare interrupting me once more. Take away this man.
Thank you very much. Touch me and you'll be in trouble. Touch me on my studio.
You touched me.
Touch me on my
You
studio.
touched me. Sorry.
Touch me on my studio.
You touched me.
And
take away his arm.
Touch me on my studio.
Take away his arm from
Touch me on my studio. Touch me on my studio.
I touch you on your studio.
Touch me on my studio.
I touch you on your studio.
You don't do that.
Don't touch him. Wait. Let's just go out.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I am not finished with you.
Mr. Visagie, stop threatening this woman, Mr. Visagie. I'm telling you, stop it now. Would you stop it now, Mr. Visagie?
I won't stop it. You try to stop me.
Mr. Visagie, why are you threatening this poor woman? What has she done to you? She's expressing her views.
She's talking about the capitalist whites. Why do you think then she is poor?
Sorry, call security for me, please, immediately.
All I can say is that, Honorable Malema, I've heard what you have said, but I fear Foko.
These are depicted as racist, oppressive policies. That is why upcoming black farmers are complaining that they do not get support from government. This is why already 23% of people in South Africa live on state-owned land, and half of them are complaining about the quality of this land. This is why only 6% of all the land that has been acquired by the current government has since been transferred from state ownership to private ownership. It is regularly argued, and especially in this house, that whites stole the land. This is the single biggest historical fallacy of our time. There are three ways in which white people acquired land, namely, the settlement on empty land, the purchase of land through treaties, cooperation, and agreements, and most controversial but least significant, by conquest. Then, of course, there was legislation such as the Native Land Act of 1913 and the Group Areas Act of 1950. These injustices must be dealt with, but they must be dealt with specifically and not used to construct grand false narratives or to advance new racist policies. If, however, it is your argument...
Down with apartheid, down! Food tax, serious, bring food tax! Food tax, serious, bring food tax!
The police were asking you to remove that fence because we are not here to fight anyone. And if you are going to provoke us with a fence, just tell us, when last did you hear that there was any violence in Tony House? Because we always march to this Tony House. We've never breached anything. We've never killed anyone. We are here to protest. Give us our right to protest. Remove the fence, because there are councillors who want to enter there. This fence is inciting violence. This fence is intimidating us. Remove the fence. We want to protest. Leave them, they will remove themselves. Fight us. Fight us. Hey. The struggle of the workers of Tshwane. Long live. Long live the struggle of the workers of the municipality of Tshwane. Long live. Long live the struggle of... Then we can release you. Again. Mandla. Away. 2.
Thank you. But I would like to explain the policy of apartheid which my government in South Africa follows. This apartheid is simply the Afrikaans word meaning separateness. This policy isn't based on the differences in skin color. It arises from the basic differences between two peoples whose cultures, religious habits, and state of civilization is so far apart, and also from the fact that the power is in the hand of a small group. In theory, apartheid aims to set both black and white free, to develop to the full extent of their capacities, leaving each free to preserve their own cultures. And eventually, as the blacks develop, they will be given more government until the day they can take over their own government, and we will keep ours. I have discovered...
You know, what happened here is an act of racism. So when Afriforum picked up an opportunity to persecute me, they made sure the matter is in a white prosecutor. The prosecutor was white. When they could not pass through with the white prosecutor, then they went to a colored, but maintained a white magistrate. Because if you get any minorities on his case, there is no way they are going to leave him alone. They will pursue him. And that's what transpired. The investigating officer, Swarboy, colored, Governor, Indian. There were so many minorities on my case with a hope that these minorities will pin him down, inspired purely by hatred and racism. That's why I said to the magistrate, they thought if they get a white judge, because they were Judge Hopi, they will find a racist judge who will not have mercy for this guy. So the whole thing just failed. Why would an honest prosecutor not tell the magistrate that there were 5 police officers who were looking after this guy on that day? 5 of them. They go and collect statements from them, keep them secret, and not bring them to the attention of the magistrate. When in cross-examination, defense brings them to the attention of the magistrate and 174 application, the magistrate said, no, this issue of subs being there, I don't have much to say about it except that maybe the state at some point will have something to say. She got shocked by cross-examination that subs was there. They bring subs statements today. I don't know why they did that. They bring sub statement. They don't bring subs officers. And then they read the statement themselves into the record. No single statement of the police say this guy did anything unlawful. So what was the point of bringing those statements here when they are not implicating us? So all of that combined, you can see that it's a concocted charges which are inspired by hatred and racism and the inability to defeat a person politically. And then you use the other means, including persecution. It's unfortunate the NPA allowed itself to be used in this regard.
To be a farmer today is twice as dangerous than being a police officer.
That's nonsense.
That is, of course, the truth. You're ill-informed in this
nonsense.
regard.
You know, they brought a book,
Listen,
a fake book. They brought a fake book. Yeah, this is not your farm.
You can
It's not going to happen. This is nonsense.
And we'll come back
It's
to
pure nonsense.
Don't bring your thuggery
You can't
to
say
the
police
Go ahead.
are dying at a lesser rate than farmers.
Okay, let's conclude your point and then we'll come to you.
Prove that. But we're also worried about murders on the Cape Flats. Our safety structures are involved there.
By the way.
We are. So for somebody to sit here, playing the big man, while people are being killed, and our country's future is placed in jeopardy, we won't stand for that. So he can accuse us of everything, but we will go ahead to build a better future.
I think Afriforum are the most skilled people at manufacturing non-existent evidence. And one of the things that we must be able to highlight to the people of South Africa is that he tried to bring his friend Ernst Roots as an expert witness at the Equality Court. Ernst Roots was dismissed as the fast that he was with his book that they wrote after drinking brandy and coke. They were dismissed from that court because they thought that what they were doing, because they are white and because they think their opinion can change legislation, they think their opinion is fact. They went to a court with their opinions and they were dismissed and thrown out of that court. And now he's generating another false opinion that white farmers die at a higher rate than police officers who are fighting crime in this country. I mean, that is nonsensical. We challenge him to provide evidence of that because they manufacture evidence to justify this maniacal farce of that there's a genocide in South Africa of white people. This is what they do. They state lies in public record in order for people to panic because they want funding from international right-wing formations and institutions and individuals. This is what they are doing. They fundraise on the basis of lies. They fundraise on the basis of misinformation. And we must characterize them as such.
Kali, you mentioned
Apartheid didn't lose. Apartheid won.
Yeah.
Apartheid didn't lose. Not only did it win, it's still winning. The project of apartheid was not only about the exploitation of the many for the few. It wasn't just about making black people believe they were inferior, the more insidious project in apartheid, its most successful outcome, and I use the word successful for a lack of a better one, so don't get touched with that, is that apartheid was there to convince black people that none amongst them was worth anything. Kungako today, isitha somuntu omnyama, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozodiliza inkampani yomuntu omnyama, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozokuframe, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozokufaka ejele ngenzondo, umuntu omnyama, umuntu ozokubamba ngenhliziyo athi sobona ukuthi uyophele laphi, sure, ngumuntu omnyama. To this day. And so almost all of the wealthy black friends I know, they'll call me and go, what are you doing? Leave these people alone. A friend of mine said something the other day. Why do you think we leave the township? Yeah. Why? Because I don't want to drive in and drive out every day. Ngiloko ngiyamonelwa, ngibizwa ngamagama, ngizothakathwa, ngizoyenza zonke lezo zinto. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. John Suwaina TV. Please subscribe. Bye for now till we meet again next time. Subscribe, please. Don't forget to like and to comment. Thank you very much. Dr. John Suwaina TV, Mutsonga wa Xiviri from Limpopo. Goodbye till we meet again next time. Subscribe.